In the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 17, we find a well-known verse about that Jesus came with grace and truth. It says, "For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." Maybe you have heard someone preach from this verse something like this. Sure, Jesus came with grace, but he also came with truth. We can't only talk about God's grace all the time. We need to tell people the truth about stop sinning. Only the truth will set them free, so stop sinning. Don't get me wrong, we should absolutely avoid sinning. But this verse is often preached as if grace and truth were each other's opposites. But if we read the verse, we see that grace and truth are on the same side as opposed to the law of Moses. It says, the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. So grace and truth are together on one side while the law is on the other side. In the original Greek, the word came in grace and truth came through Jesus Christ is translated as a singular verb, which means that grace and truth is a unity and not two separate things. Had grace and truth been two separate things, the word came would have been written as a plural verb in the original Greek, but it's not. So grace and truth are one intertwined entity. The word truth could also be translated reality. Using the word reality instead of the word truth, the whole verse would be, "For the law was given through Moses, but grace and reality came through Jesus Christ." In other words, the reality or truth about God's grace came through Jesus Christ. The Old Covenant, based on the law of Moses, was a performance-based system in which man was rewarded or punished in relation to how good or bad he or she had been. The reason God gave the law for a limited time was so that mankind, through the example of the Jewish people, would realize its sinfulness, come to the end of itself, and stop trusting its own performance and only trust in Jesus. But Jesus, who is the mediator of a new and better covenant, the so-called New Covenant, came to reveal the truth about God's grace, to show us the reality of who God really is. That God is love, that God is full of grace, that God is just like Jesus. No matter what background or history you have, maybe you have been the worst sinner in the world, or maybe you have been a religious legalist believing that you are better than everyone else. No matter what, know that God is full of grace towards you. He loves you with an unconditional love, even in times when you have failed or in times of difficulty. Therefore, trust in Jesus today. He is close to everyone who calls on him.